it's Rachel. Welcome to another video. Today we are talking about last month's favorite crystals, which was August 2021. Every month I make one of these videos. I look back over the past month at the crystals that I was really drawn to, and then at the end of the month I kind of look over all of the things that I kept picking up over and over again, seeing if there's some kind of a pattern, and then looking at kind of like the overview of what my month was like, what it seemed like I needed support in. And then when I see those patterns, it just helps me on my own personal spiritual journey of what I need to be like focusing on and healing and things like that. So I think it's a really useful tool. I love doing it, and I encourage you to do it too. So my first crystal this month that I was drawn to so much was Citrine. But I will also put a better video in here for you. This is actually a smoky citrine, and it is magical. This crystal has 2 past life windows in it, which are perfect diamond shaped windows that are leaned backwards. It's like a past life window, and there's a lot of stuff around that. People say that you can use it to see into past lives. I've heard people say that you are supposed to line one of those up with like your third eye. I have heard, I mean, there's so many different ways people say that it works or whatever, but I just think they look cool. Also, this thing has phantoms in it. It's like a couple of phantoms, maybe 2, maybe 3. I don't know, but I love how the top of it is more like citrine, and then it goes down into the smoky. There's like a little galaxy of clouds on the top. Oh, I love this crystal. I bought it the moment I picked it up. It's actually when I was working at a crystal shop, and I think the owner had just come back from a buying trip, and so this crystal never even made it out onto the floor. Like, I bought it right away. And I love it and I cherish it. So at the beginning of the month especially, I was very, very drawn to citrine. I was wearing it every day. I had this in a medicine bag, and I was wearing it around constantly. And usually I feel like citrine is like a money stone, right? That's what I think of immediately when I think of citrine, money. I don't think that's why I was wearing it. So I read something interesting about citrine that I want to share with you that I feel like was very relatable this month. Citrine activates the thinking process and enhances mental clarity, as well as the visionary function through which inner images appear. It stimulates the creative function, the wellspring from which new potentials are born. In other words, okay, so I've been feeling a pull to change something, change direction, I don't know. There's just a lot. I don't even know how to put all of this into words. It's so confusing. I feel like sometimes in life, you're like working towards a goal or working towards a future or whatever, and time passes, right? As time moves on and you go through life, you also change who you are and what you think and what you want. I feel like I'm at a place right now where I have to re-examine what I want my future to look like, because I don't feel super connected anymore to what I always kind of like thought about before. And just in the theme of, there's this exercise I like to do that I read about in this wonderful book called The Answer. And it is to visualize you living in your perfect day. And if you do this over and over, it's supposed to eventually lead you to living your perfect day. And so I've always had the same kind of rundown in that, and I just feel like I want to change that now. That's all. It's not like a super big, like, everything I thought is wrong and I want to change everything. It's not like that. It's just that I want to like fine tune what I really want, because I've gone over this kind of like mood of life so many times. And now I'm just like, wait a second, I'm putting so much energy into this. Let me make sure it's exactly what I want type of thing. So I've very much been in this place of, what do I actually want? What actually do I want? And so to me, that would make so much sense of why I was carrying around the citrine so much, especially wearing it on me. If it helps with all of the internal imagery and creativity, it just makes 1,000% sense. So much sense. I have also been very tired this month for whatever reason, and citrine is supposed to give you energy. That could be a little bit of it. And I will say that when I was getting this out of its medicine bag, there was another little stone in it, and that stone was not on my list this month, but I'm going to go ahead and mention it since it was in my medicine bag with the citrine. I was wearing it around also. I just didn't think about the fact that I was wearing it around. This is amber. It's the first piece of amber I ever bought. When you wear amber, it is supposed to give you the feeling of warmth, health, and well-being, releasing fear of judgment. That's very interesting today. The second crystal I want to talk about this month is Rutilated Quartz. I was drawn to both Rutilated Quartz and citrine at the same time. I noticed on a lot of the days that I was wearing my citrine, I was also carrying this around, and I kept putting it on my desk when I was working, and it's just something that I carried around a lot. Rutilated Quartz is also a really good stone for money, and again, I don't think that's why I was carrying it. I think that I remember the money stone so much because that's what everyone's always asking about. Working in a crystal shop, I just can't tell you the amount of people who just want crystals for money. So you learn all the crystals for money. It breeds optimism, always good. It's supposed to be really good for aiding telepathy, intuition. It amplifies your own power of manifestation. It can magnify the energy of practically any intention or affirmation. It amplifies intentions and emotions. See, after reading all that stuff about the citrine, I feel like the Rutilated Quartz was just amplifying it because, like I said, I was drawn to them on the same days. So it's like I was using the Rutilated Quartz to push my mind even further into the creativity and making something new and manifesting it at the same time. My third crystal is one that we've never talked about before. Although it's very common, a lot of people don't think about diamonds as being crystals, but they are. This is my diamond ring that I wear around. It's tiny but gorgeous. And I wear this thing sometimes for months, almost every day, and then there will be years where I don't touch it. This month, I was wearing it a lot. Diamonds are good for spiritual protection, helps you manifest goals and dreams. This says you should only wear diamonds if you're in a positive frame of mind because they are such powerful manifestors of what you're putting off. Okay, I'm going to shortly talk about orange calcite. It was on my list very recently, maybe last month, and I know I talk about orange calcite a lot, so I'm not trying to overwhelm you with it, but I had to put this on my list this month because I was having a very intense experience one night. I don't actually know what was happening to me, but I have to tell you, I go through some weird experiences. I just do. A lot of them just aren't explainable in the light of day. They're just not. A couple of weeks ago, I was having this weird, I really don't know how to explain this. Have you ever had energies come to you that are so intense that they literally move your body or put you in a kind of state of paralysis? Or I've done certain meditations and certain healings and things before and I don't know if this happens to everybody because I have different ways of looking at things. I don't know. So I've had like healings before where like energetically, it's almost like you get put into a trance and then you can feel energies coming. I usually feel them coming from above, and you can feel energies coming, and it like you literally feel it in your body where things are moving. Maybe you feel like a coldness, maybe you feel like a slight lightheadedness or dizziness or like a tingleness. I get the tingles a lot with that kind of thing. So I've had experiences in the past before where that has happened to me, and I know where it's coming from. I just usually know because I can see where the energy is coming from. I'm like, oh, I feel this energy. Where's it coming from? And then in my head, I see where it's coming from and who it's coming from. So in the past, I've had experience with that kind of like feeling where you almost can't control your body and where it can be a little bit scary. But if you breathe through those type of experiences, if it's a good experience, you just have to breathe through it. And like I said, I can usually tell where it's coming from. So if it's coming from something that I trust or whatever, and I'm letting it happen, then I'm just breathing through it and everything's fine. Well, the other night, all of a sudden, all this energy like hit me, and it made me so lightheaded and dizzy. I couldn't walk anymore, and my vision was starting to go black, like around the edges of my eyes. I'm also a little bit used to that feeling because that's what happens to me when I'm having a panic attack. So through my whole life, I've had instances where all of a sudden my vision starts going away. So while it is scary for me, it's probably not as scary for me as it is for someone who hasn't experienced that a lot in their lives. But it still is a little bit scary. So this is happening to me the other night, and I am now, okay, so I get really dizzy. I start like blacking out a little bit. So I put myself on the floor. I always feel safest on the floor. And then also when something like that is happening, you don't want to fall. So you put yourself on the floor. And so I'm laying on the floor, and it's getting more and more intense, this feeling. And I don't know what's happening. I remember being in a place of fear, and I didn't have any, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any crystals on me. I had like gotten out of the shower a few hours prior, and I hadn't put on any. I at least usually have one bracelet on all the time. I don't know, I just feel naked without anything. I'm sorry I'm rambling so much today. I'm having a lot of coffee. But so I realized I don't have any crystals on me. I'm on the floor. I can't reach up on my desk and grab anything because I was kind of right in front of my desk. And then I look over, and I have this large piece of orange calcite that sits as like a doorstop. So it was like, I don't know, like a few feet away from me. And I crawled to it. And then I just, until I could reach it, and I put my hand on it, and all of a sudden I could breathe. And I'm laying there taking all of these deep breaths. And yeah, that was it. A few minutes later, I felt fine. The entire thing was over, and I got up and walked away. I have strange experiences like that, not just like energy wise, but just experiences that are so weird all the time. Anybody else? So I had to put orange calcite on the list this month. Yes? Yes. Moving on. Black Moonstone. So I was carrying Black Moonstone around all month. I don't know why. I never reached for it with an energy I wanted or anything like that. I just kept being drawn to it. One of my favorite things to teach people about Black Moonstone is that it helps your intuition. The reason I know this is because, so the crystal shop I used to work at, when we would get online orders, it was very tricky because there's so many crystals in this shop, and someone would order a crystal and it had like a 5-digit number on it, and then we had to find that specific crystal in the shop. Which seems like it might be easy-ish. It wasn't. It took hours. So one day we were putting together this order and we had one crystal that we could just not find. Could not. So we had the idea to look up crystals to enhance your intuition. Or I had just written out a card about Black Moonstone that says it enhances your intuition, something like that. So I was like, well, let's put it to the test. So I picked up a piece of Black Moonstone and I walked directly to the place where the crystal we were looking for was. This has happened to me many times. Let's fast forward to today when this happened. Okay, so I'm getting ready to make a video. I can't find my diamond ring, which I'm talking about in the video. I can't find it. So, Black Moonstone is on my list this month, and Black Moonstone is supposed to help you with your intuition and help you find lost things. Let's see if I can find my diamond ring before the video. Okay, now I have to reenact because it worked. So I'm walking around, I'm like, where could it be? On my desk. I keep seeing a pocket in my head. I keep seeing a pocket. And I'm like, okay, there was this pair of yoga pants I was wearing the other day. They have a little pocket in the front. I remember I put something small in them. So I come into my closet, get the pants out of dirty clothes bin, and it wasn't there. So I'm like, pocket, it's in a pocket. What pockets could I have been wearing? What pockets? This palm stone is one of my favorite crystals. I mean, the shiny tree in it is just giving me all the vibes. Black Moonstone, just sitting here kind of like staring into it, it has such a deeply rooted kind of like ancient magic vibe in it. So a lot of other crystals, they give me like, their power just feels like it's like up here. It's spacey, it's airy, it's cerebral, it is this. The Black Moonstone, I feel it like deep inside. That's where its magic comes from. And it is so like old and wise and grounded. Yeah, that's the big difference, I feel like. Where other like magic, I feel like it's like up here. This is like rooted and grounded magic. So if you ever lose anything, I highly recommend some Black Moonstone. So I loved all of these crystals so much this month. I don't want to make like a bold statement like, but this one was my favorite one. The Shiva Lingham. Dude, I almost don't have any words for how healing, comforting, grounding, and powerful this thing is. I carry it around a lot. It feels soothing and it grounds me and I just feel safe around it. Oh my gosh, a bug just flew into my eye. What is that about? So I already love the Shiva Lingham for so many reasons. More recently, I have been using it to heal some nerve damage that I have. I have noticed in the past few months that, pretend this is my foot, like these are my toes. Whenever I'm always like bending my feet inwards. I don't know, I feel like it's a weird past life thing. But so I'm constantly like bending my feet inwards. And I also used to wear heels every single day. All day, every day. And while I love them, I had to stop wearing them because I slipped. I mean, I love them. But while I love them, I had to stop wearing them so much because I slipped a disc in my neck. But all of the years that I wore them, my feet kind of were always being squished like this, right? And I think that's probably where this came from. In the last few months, I have realized that when I curl my feet in, which I do normally all the time without meaning to, it's just what I like do with my body, I get a really sharp stinging sensation right here that feels like I'm being poked by needles. And every time I look down and nothing's touching me. And so I like realized, I think this is like some nerve damage. When I say I realized, I got the thought, oh my gosh, I have nerve damage. So then I was led to use the Shiva Lingham on that. And also I've also been told to ground my feet, like take my feet outside and put them on the soil, because by doing that, you can solve nerve damage. It's like, oh my gosh, maybe I could ground it with a crystal, but also use the healing powers of the crystal. So I have been sleeping with this in my bed down by my feet, and I just leave it there. I had to go dig it out of the bed today for this video, but I just leave it down there, and then at night I just put my feet up against it, and I'm always like kicking it around with my feet. It's actually even helping me like fall asleep at night, I think, and it's just like grounding me. I've been having some really crazy dreams now that I'm thinking of it, but also I feel like it's really helping my feet. I'm not having the like stinging pains that I was having. So I love Shiva Linghams. Love. I haven't been buying crystals, you guys. I don't know if you've noticed. It's not just that I haven't been showing you. I really haven't been buying them. I probably haven't bought a single crystal in over 6 months. And I don't have the urge to do it either. If you would have told me this was going to happen to me, I wouldn't have believed you. But I just feel like right now, I just have everything I need. And there are still things that people will mention. I'm like, oh yeah, I need one of those. Or I'll read about something and I'm like, ooh, I want one of those someday. But like right now at this moment, I don't want anything new. I just don't. However, it is in my head that someday I want a much larger Shiva Lingham. Much larger. There's a shop in town here that actually has one that's like, I don't know, maybe like this big. Oh my gosh, what would that feel like to cuddle up next to? That's all I got today, you guys. I do have my Moldavite ring sitting here for some reason, but I wore him a few times. He just wanted to say hi. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.